and learning from past, because in 2001 also RGI had tried doing ICR using ICR based technology, which is intelligent character reading, but it took almost 6 years to generate data out of that particular product, which was in past. So looking at the earlier approach, how they did it, it is full of confusion, and because all this confusion and information, like you need to get information at right time and right place, or so that you reduce the level of fatigue of the people who are filling up forms, and they can ask right question at right time. So there were lots of issues in terms of grouping of information. It was all scattered. There was no logical approach in the entire flow of information. So we looked at all this various different things, and then there was also not enough space for writing numbers and the information they are asking for. So looking at from all those points, and also different people have habit of writing numbers in a different way. So we looked at how different people write numbers, and then what kind of interventions we need to do. If you look at in earlier case, there were hardly like various different spaces given for writing number, but then we looked at different patterns of writing numbers, how different people write numbers, and then we came up with standardization of writing number, which can be also easily read by machine. And this were converted into fonts eventually for promotion of this, because all the people those who are collecting all this data, they need to be trained for this kind of writing, and this was heavily promoted, and also we kept it in right place so that people don't miss out on all these aspects. And for the first time we introduced variable printing, and we observed that there were a lot of issues in terms of filling up very basic information in right way. So up to district level, state and district code were already printed on the forms, and also we introduced barcode, which was really helpful for distributing. And so barcode consists in a type of form, printer's identification, because you can understand the volume of the printing. It was close to 30 crore, which is if you look at I think 60 million forms, if you look at in millions. Yeah. So 60 million forms were printed and distributed at various different places. So the printing exercise was also happening at various different locations actually, and it was distributed, and Indian Postal Services were one of the partners for distribution. And very small little interventions, like cutting one edge, because we observed while our contextual inquiry that a lot of forms were not in right position while scanning. It was all turned around, and it was not kept in right position. So these are very, very small interventions, like cutting one edge of the form, by which people will know that this is the way they have to stack the forms. And this is how we initially started with our design iterations, chunking, grouping information in right way. And also initially we looked at various different approaches, because there are parallels actually. You have ICR, you have OMR. So we were trying to look at OMR also to reduce the error, but we had other issues with OMR actually. So finally we went for ICR. So this was some of this work is based on OMR actually, where they just have to mark the number and that is how you get the number. And this was the past census 2001, and this is what we came up with this time, and this was used for the entire country. So, looking at pure information design aspects, very basic fundamentals of design, visual perception. And it is also difficult to remove, a lot of frills and make it very simple. Also again in 16 languages, I'm just showing you some examples here. And color drop, because the color you see here has no aesthetic value, but it has technological aspect to it actually, because this color has to be dropped out while scanning. So we used it in combination of for making information more accessible. So color also we used it as part of the design element actually. As part of my responsibility at NID, I teach, and I teach my students, and I teach them to look at real life social intervention, social design intervention issues. And we have quite a few students. I would tell you, I'm really proud to tell you that we have good bunch of young students interested in this kind of activity. Otherwise, design is perceived as only for the creamy layer and things like that actually. But then now the new generation of students, they are having real passion to look at real issues of our nation. And this project was NID got this project, and we have got our own student, Sangeeta. She's here. If she is here, you can just raise your hand. Yeah. She